here, and I didn't have to race and rush. All this stuff was done on last Sunday. So now I just got to remember what I actually did. So it should be easy enough, easy peasy, right? So hello everybody. I've seen Tracy and Kim, and there's there's Terry and Sharon. You know who's missing? She's usually like the first one on here. Where's Froggy? Did Froggy mention that something was going on? Oh, I hope everything's okay because I know she say, yeah, Froggy. Um, wasn't she saying something about that one of those fires wasn't really all too far from her? I hope everything's okay. I haven't heard anything, so let me see. Let me check something. Um, no, let me not check it that way. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Sharon. Oh, there she is. We were worried about you there. How's everything going around you, Froggy? Hope everything's okay. Hope that they're, trying to get that all contained because those fires are horrible. Horrible. Okay, so, um, yeah, so what's been going on? Well, this was a week in which I had to work on that file. Hold on, I need my water. I know I'm going to need it. Hold on. It was, what would be, the week from, rain but no thunder for the last hour. Fire has been out since Tuesday. Oh, that's good. We need some rain. Can you send some of that this way? For some reason, all these storms are happening up north, like in, what is it, like Wisconsin and Minnesota, and like nothing's happening here. It's just like hot as you know what out there. I think today's heat index was up to 110, and there's really no sign of any rain anytime soon. Um, but we need it though, and it needs to cool down. We're what? Oh, well, we're about halfway through August. We're going into September. The burr months. You got fall, which I'm looking forward to that. However, it takes so long to get down here because of all this heat. And I do not like this heat. But anyway, I remembered to pull out the cross stitch stuff that I've started, have not finished. I'm currently working on things that were kind of sort of finished, but not like they weren't like framed or made into a pillow or anything like that. So I remembered to pull that stuff out so I can show you that stuff. So I'm kind of combining like a floss tube with with my card making. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, well, Yvonne she's on her way here. So she'll be popping in as I am going here. So yeah, she didn't forget. She didn't forget. She's running a little late. But yeah, she's on her way. She was making a stop at Aldi's before she gets here, so not a problem. She's got a key to get in, so I don't have to worry about leaving my door unlocked or anything like that. Even though it's been a lot quieter since, people that lived across from me are gone. They've been gone now for a few months. I really wish them upstairs that they would leave because whenever those kids are at home, and I guarantee while I'm doing this live, they're all going to hang out in this room right above me and they're going to be carrying on. This morning, I was like laying in my bed and I think it was probably, I want to say maybe quarter to seven, around 7 o'clock, and literally it was, I don't know what they were doing up there, but they have way too much energy. They were running from one end of the apartment to the other. The room that I sleep in right above me, it was like I thought they were going to come through the ceiling. It's like it this is what happens whenever those kids are there, and it's like the whole weekend if they're not out and about, if they're home, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the other day, what was it, Tuesday, I think it was? Um, I came home from work, and at not long after I was here, literally there was like a woman up there screaming like a banshee. I mean, wow. But does it that's I rarely ever hear that. So evidently they don't mind and let the kids just like run around the way they do. They either need to find, let's see, an apartment where they're on the ground floor, or they just need to be in a house or something because the second story, no, no, mm-mm. So, yeah. So I'm going to try and get through this live without having to hear all that commotion because all of that commotion really does irritate me. Irritates me a lot. Makes me say bad things. And we can't say bad things on here because then I'm going to have to adopt Terry's, name, cussing card maker. Um, so there's that. So let me go ahead, let me flip this, and I'm going to show you these, hey Carol, and I'm going to show you some of these cross stitch projects that I have started and some of these small little ones that I've actually like got all stitched up. I just need to finish it up. So let me go ahead and flip this. I want to really aim and try to have the live be less than 2 hours because again, I didn't not having dinner till after I'm done. So the cards are fairly easy and simple, so we got that. So let me go ahead, let me flip this and put the phone in position. Don't mind my arm. Let me make sure everything is kind of straight here. And pull that a little bit. And pull this up. I hear movement above me. All right, there we go. Okay, I may need to, I'm like really, nope, I'm gonna turn this way. A little crooked. Little crooked. And let's move over just a little bit. All right, so as I had mentioned in the past, one of my big crafty things that I did way back when, and we're talking about like in 86, 87, cross stitch was my thing, doing the no count or the counted cross stitch, meaning that my fabric doesn't have printed stuff on it. So it's been a long time, and I decided I was going to get back into doing it because I really enjoy doing it. So this is a snowman. I'll kind of show you a picture of it. So the original chart that I got, it's so I can see it a lot easier. I use this this free cross stitch program that's online, and I charted out my snowman. And this is like a snowman of the month club. So every month the snowman's themed with something different. So of course for July, it's patriotic. The August one, the snowman has like a sunflower, and so each month it's something different. So I did start this, I think, I think I actually started this last year, and of course never finished it, but a couple of weeks ago I did put a few more stitches in it. So oh, this is one of those Q-snap frames. So instead of using an embroidery hoop to keep the fabric taut, you just pull these off, put your fabric on it, and then just kind of like roll it on there to tighten it up. When I lived in Ohio, I actually did like every one of these snowmen, and I stitched it on linen rather than Aida, and I finished off the edges, and then I had bought like a grapevine wreath, which I bought 1/8 inch wide satin ribbon. You know, you can get fairly inexpensive like from Walmart. And I would take colors that were in the stitched piece, and I would wrap it around and then hang up. You know, each month I changed out the snowman. And so yeah, a lot of that stuff that I had stitched up, I don't have anymore, but this was something I always remembered and really liked doing. So I did find somebody, I believe it was on Etsy a couple of years ago, who had the whole set that they were selling. So I repurchased it, and now I'm going to work on getting all of the months done. We're going to see how long it'll take me to do that. The problem is that I always find really cool patterns and all that. And there's actually a cross stitch store here in Memphis that I have yet to go and visit. But when I do, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in there for hours. Uh, this next one, I realized I did not pull out the chart so you can at least see what it looks like. So this was one that I found out on Etsy. So if you look at this, maybe you know right away so far what that is looking like. So this is a pattern that I found that's of Memphis. So all the iconic things that you see in Memphis. So there's our bridge, a pyramid, of course, Graceland's right smack in the middle. When I stitch, I start, you know, from the middle, and then I work my way out. So yeah, Graceland is right in the middle of it. So this is as far as I got. Up here, I did have this all stitched in. However, I did have to pull out some stitches because there was one little dark color that had to go in there for the window. I thought it was back stitched, but that wasn't the case. So this is how far I have gotten on this. It's been a while since I've touched it, but another thing that I should spend a little bit of time working on. And again, that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And then on top of this, I found another one. This one has the pink Cadillac and Sun Studio in it. So this is another one that I want to stitch. I thought, you know, it's something that would definitely look good here in my studio. So two projects that at some point I will get done. Okay, so one of the things that I love stitching is like patriotic stuff. And being that this year it, you know, is you know, the 250th, there was a pattern that I did find out on Etsy that it had 3 pieces that were made, and it's all using basically the same colors. So there's this one here that says America 250. I'm not sure how I want to finish this yet. Maybe into a pillow, or maybe just have it kind of like mounted on a board. I'm not 100% sure quite yet how I want to finish it, but this fabric, it was a cream colored fabric, and I made some like really strong coffee, and I actually went and stained the fabric just to make it a little bit darker, and I tried to get some of the some, what do they call it, modeling, I think, in the fabric, where you see like dark spots and light spots, but I don't see a whole lot of that. But this was the first one that I had finished. There are, I don't have the other ones in here, but this was another one that I stitched. I found this really cool fabric that looks like a sky at Hobby Lobby. And then I just chose some red, white, and blue, along with some gold twine mixed in with the floss. And there's my pop. Again, I don't know how I want to finish this, but at the same time, here's my little freedom with the watermelon. Cute little design. Didn't take long at all to get this done. And then I had done this last year. So a little Halloween. So a cat and a pumpkin. I really love the colors on this. Some nice, bright, cheerful colors in here. So again, I don't know how I want to finish this, but that part's done. One of the things I've been working on the past month or so, uh, this chart here. You have your house, and it says, America, America, God shed his grace on thee. And I really thought this was sweet and cute. And so for this one, this is as far as I got on it. So this fabric is kind of like a heathered gray color. And so what I've done a little bit different than what the chart has. So it's stitched using DMC color, but to make it look a little more, took the original color for the symbol, and then I blended it with another color that was close to it. So you kind of have like 2 different shades of floss for each symbol. So I did like a white and a cream for this part of the house. And then this one is like a beige and a lighter beige that's kind of like mixed in it. It's kind of to mimic, some of those overdyed flosses that you can get, where you can kind of see like a variegation in the color. But so far, that's what I have done. So there still is a bit more. I will tell you, the house is a lot, but I like how it's coming out so far. And my little line, of course, I needed one. Love that. So that's all I have done at the moment as far as my cross stitching stuff goes. Let me move this out of the way. And then we'll kind of get into what it is that we're going to be working with tonight. So what am I using? What is this called? Haha, you think I would remember? It's the Velvet Meadow Suite. So the designer series paper, it is a specialty paper. You have your printed designs, and then there are areas on here where you kind of have like this, um, don't want to say like a velvet texture to it. So each of these pages do have some of that on it. We are using paper in the projects. So on here, these little white spots here, those are, the one side is just like a plain pattern. There's no flocking or whatever that's on it. But yeah, all these pieces on the one side have the flocking on it. And yeah, so I am really trying to, that's really pretty. I'm really trying to be a lot better when it comes to designer series paper. For the longest amount of time, you know, I would buy these sweets, love the paper, but then it's like, okay, sometimes, well, most times I would get a total of maybe like 2 packs of paper because you know at some point the paper's going to retire. Well, then the thing is, I don't want to use it because I know I'm not going to be able to get it anymore. However, now the problem is I have like a lot of paper that is now stored in these big plastic totes that I don't even think I would dare want to carry them because the plastic would probably break because they're filled with 12 by 12 stacks of paper. So I'm doing a lot better in utilizing paper in my projects. This In this particular pack of paper, the colors are basic beige, berry burst, bubble bath, cloud cover, daffodil delight, and peaceful pine. And then along with this, there's solid velvet um, textured paper, and you have bubble bath, white, and peaceful pine. So we're using this as well. This peaceful pine would be really, really nice for doing Christmas projects. And of course, then there's also some white in there too. Oh, this is all this stuff. I'll talk about this in a second. But I'm going to show up, since I started with that, I'm going to show you everything that's in the suite. So there's also the Flowering Meadow bundle. So you have your stamp set. And then there are some coordinating dies. So you have some dies that are going to die cut the stamped images. This particular die right here is going to cut the flowers out of the paper. I am not sure about anything else as far as if it cuts it out of the designer series paper. But then you also have some detailed dies here as well to die cut. And then the last piece to it, these are the Dreamy Flowers. So you have Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, and your white. Now the thing with these do have a little bit of lift to them. So they are a little bulky. So I was very mindful when I was making the projects that that I did not go crazy with these because um, yeah, the one card I actually used 3 of these on there, but again, if you're mailing something, you got to be a little mindful when you use these because you're going to have to put something between your card and that envelope. So then that way, when it goes through the postal machine, it's not going to like destroy your embellishments or your card. And yeah, so that's all the pieces that are part of the suite. Some announcements before we start. So now the August Paper Pumpkin, the subscription period for that had ended on the 10th. And so now it has opened up for the Aspens of Gratitude kit. Definitely, you can see it's all about fall. Also, if you had not noticed, um, or heard it mentioned, because right now demonstrators they can pre-order. I think it's September 1st when it'll end up going live. That the ink spots. So I think actually I have. So as you know, cloud cover was one of those colors where the ink wasn't working well with the felt pad. So they retired that, and the only way you can really use cloud cover ink was to use like one of the little ink spots. So the 1 inch cubes, this is what we've had for the longest amount of time. This is also what you would find in your paper pumpkin kits. You know, of course, there'd be a label on it. But now they are coming out with larger ink spots. So instead of it being like 1 inch cube, I believe it's 1 inch by 1.5. So it's a little bit bigger. They do cost a little bit more, and you are getting less in the package. So with these little unink spots, you were getting 5 of them. Uh, New ones, you only get 3. They said something about that they were going to offer labels for them. I think that you can probably print out. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen them yet. But what they're going to do, starting with this kit, they're going to have those new styled ink spots in there. So it's going to have the larger ones. Now, they did not say anything, and I really hope they don't. They didn't say anything about the price going up on paper pumpkins as a result. But yeah, they did say that the new style little mini ink pads are going to be in the paper pumpkin kit starting in September. And I think what was the color? Early Espresso is going to be the color that is going to be in with this. I'm looking forward to this. I should add an extra kit to my subscription because between fall and Christmas, I mean, yeah. There is coordinating dies that coordinate with the July, August, and September kits. Again, these dies, you don't need them to complete the kits. They're just if you want to do some alternative projects. You do need to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to purchase these. As far as I know, these are still available in the online store. You can find it under Paper Pumpkin, past kits and add-ons. That's just info on that. Right now, there's still a designer series paper and cardstock sale, 15% off select papers and cardstock. It's not every single one of them. The sale will end on August 31st. So two-tone cardstock, some regular 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and then select designer series paper. Last chance products list has been updated at the beginning of this month. And so there's still a lot of product out there. Some things that have been out there for a while have been discounted even more. So check that out. I do have a link that will take you to the last chance products in the online store. For the month of August, our product of the month, okay, I have not gotten this yet, but I already know I'm going to love it. So it's all about fall. It's called the Glow of Harvest 12 by 12 Specialty Designer Series paper. You are going to get 12 sheets. These are not double-sided. These are single-sided. There's just kind of like a sampling of the projects that they had made with it. So it's single-sided and it's pearlized. And the colors in this are Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Golden Glow, and Pecan Pie. Guys, what I just said about not hoarding paper and I'm going to use it, oh my gosh. I don't know what I'm going to do about this one because this would definitely be one of those packs of paper that if I was able to order it, I'd probably order at least 3 packs of it because oh my gosh, I love fall. I love, kind of like your Cajun Craze isn't like really bold and in your face. It's kind of soft in color. And again, the paper is pearlized. So this is the product of the month for August. As far as I know, it's not sold out. I will be really surprised if this makes it to the very end of the month because it's just oh my gosh, I haven't even seen it in person, but I do have an order coming. They're saying Monday, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for tomorrow. So when it shows up, I will definitely show you guys, but it's going to be hard using that paper. July's product of the month, the Begonia Bell stamp set, that is still available. Again, product of the month products are one per person. And so if you had already gotten this, you can't get another one, you know, or say, or even though we're in August, you haven't gotten this and you want it, it's still available. Again, here in the US, it's a minimum $75 purchase. And then up at the top of your order, you're going to see like there's kind of like a countdown type of thing to where you can earn this. Now, it'll let you know, but you do have to click on it. You do have to click on the product, and you have to add it to your cart. It's not automatically added. And again, with a minimum $75 purchase here in the US, you can pick up the product of the month for $5. Um, the new joining opportunity that Stampin' Up has changed it a little bit. Now when you join to become a demonstrator, they will send you this little surprise box. Well, it's not really a surprise anymore since we've been kind of talking about it. So I do have, excuse me. Of course, I'm talking and then I can't talk. So with so I demonstrators did have an opportunity last month to order one of these, and I did. Um, you let me know if you would like to see what's inside of the box. At first, Stampin' Up wasn't, they wanted it to be a surprise, but they later on they said, okay, they're not going to so much show like what's in it and all that. But they said, you know, for us as demonstrators, if we want to show what's inside the box, we're more than welcome to, you know. And again, if you guys want to see it, then I'm more than happy to show you what's in the box. There's some cute things in that box, I'm just going to say. Uh, our hot foil stuff. So we have the metallic magic. So this was the first set of stuff that came out along with the machine. Was it in July when it first came out, I think? Or was it the beginning of this month? I can't even remember. But coming soon in September, well, there's that. There's more. There's going to be more stuff. There's going to be four more colors of foil. So your red, your green. There's kind of like this iridescent or holographic silver, and then there's also copper. Um, there's also, look at this. This is a hot foil plate right here. The buffalo check. Oh yeah, thank you. But yeah, there's some holiday and there's some fall stuff that are going to be in this release. And again, this is going to go live on September 1st. Pretty Poinsettia class, that's still available. Even though it passed, it's still available. You can watch the replay. The Metallic Magic Craft class, this one here, if you purchase the hot foil system between, well, when it went live and I think is it at the end of January of next year, you can get this class for free. And I will tell you, I did watch their presentation on this, and the projects that they did, I mean, there are definitely some, you know, kind of like step up type projects, a lot of cool new techniques with it as well. So again, if you purchase the hot foil system between now and the end of January of next year, you're going to get this class for free. Now, if you're not interested in purchasing it, but you would like the class is available for purchase on its own. So that is what I have as far as housekeeping, announcements, that kind of stuff. All right, so let me kind of take this stuff, get it out of the way, and I'm going to bring in, hold on, I'm dropping stuff. Bring in the stuff for our first card. So I don't have my printout, so I'm going to, I have my trusty dusty little ruler right here. And again, I'm going to show you the cards ahead of time. So this is our first card right here. There's something about this pattern of paper. You know, the softness of the peaceful pine, the cloud cover, and the white, I think is just so pretty. And this paper, I don't know if you can really see it, but it definitely has a lot of that white flocking on it. So this is our first card. So let me bring in all our pieces. So for my card base, it's basic white thick, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Then I have a piece of Peaceful Pine. I really do like this Peaceful Pine. I think this is definitely going to be a color I'm going to use quite a bit in my Christmas card making, even though I got like hundreds of Christmas cards in a box right now. Okay, so this piece is 5.25 by 4. And then I have a piece of the designer series paper. This is like an eighth smaller, so it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then out of a scrap piece of that Peaceful Pine velvet paper, I die cut this scallop circle. This comes from the, what is this, the Scallop Blooms die. So it's one of these smaller, the smaller one right here that's got the stitching on it. And then the next size smaller, I die cut just a piece of basic white. And then ahead of time, I stamped my flower stem here in Peaceful Pine ink on basic white, and I die cut that. And then my little ink cube that I have with the cloud cover ink, I stamped this little image here. Nope, wrong stamp set. This one right here. And I cut that out as well. All right. Let's take our card base and we'll fold and burnish that. I got a gnat flying around here and it's driving me up a wall and it just flew out. I was hoping I was going to kill it. What was I going to say? So last weekend, I was basically home alone last weekend. John wasn't here. And so on last Sunday, why is that all? Hold on a second. Is everything a little, hey, Sherry. I haven't been like looking at these comments. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to like refresh my screen. I don't know if you guys saw, what do you call it? It was getting a little glitchy looking. Let's see. What have I missed? Look at Froggy. You're on top of it when it comes to cards. You know, I was on top of all that too. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Tracy, are you saying that you're hitting the big 60 this year? So August, so we're in August. So on the 28th, if you are part of our card list, on the 28th of this month, ooh, okay, good to know. This month on the 28th, it's Sharon's birthday. And then in September, Is it the 9th? I got it written down in my book. But in September, both Tracy and Carol, their birthdays fall on the same day. So I got some cards to make, and Tracy's got a milestone birthday, so I think we're gonna have to step that card up a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna burnish that. Then I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to bring in my foam piercing mat. Move this up a little bit, because we're going to stamp on this. Now for the greetings, the stamp set does have some greetings in here. It's got a thanks, a just because, cheering you on, you always make me smile, for showing you care, and so many reasons to celebrate. So I brought in, you know, another stamp set. So basically the stamp set that coordinates with the Scallop Blooms dies, the Scallop Bloom stamp set, I'm going to use this thank you, because I wanted a greeting that was going to fill in this area a little bit more. So let me pull out. What's nice that these because the stamps and the dies are in the same size packaging, if they're bundled, I actually take the sleeve of the dies and I put it in with the stamp set. So usually I never put my dies in my stamp case, but now that they've kind of done this, I've been doing that. Um, I still got to figure out how I'm storing these. Right now I have a bin sitting on my shelf over here that I have them in there, and actually a little bit ago, I literally went through that bin to pull out items that were retiring. Yeah, there was a good little handful that I ended up pulling out. It made more room for the other ones that are going to go in there, but you know, things are they're just retiring way too fast in my opinion. And you know, I'm starting to like run out of room for things, so I gotta think of something to do with all the stuff that I have, because I mean, other than, you know, I actually just need a bigger room. It's, yeah, it's getting a little cluttered. So yeah, I keep saying that at some point I should go through these, and you know, some of my older ones that, you know, that I don't want anymore, you know, I should go and sell them. But I know it's just going to take a whole lot of time to get that all situated, because I don't think I want to tell you how many stamp sets approximately I have. Let's just say there's a lot of them. Too many of them. Yvonne had an idea if I, you know, if I had more space. So over on that side, I have my craft desk. So I got like a big L-shaped desk. So basically, you know, the desk from IKEA. And so she said, oh, wouldn't it be cool if this whole wall was nothing but like a big bookcase, and then you could definitely put all your stamp sets on there. And I basically said to her, yeah, yeah, that would look neat. However, if someone like walked in and saw that, they would be like, oh my, I think she's got a stamp problem. Because there would be a lot of them. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to take this piece, this scallop here that I just stamped. I'm bring in my liquid glue. And I'm going to adhere that to the Peaceful Pine Velvet Scallop. I'll press that down. Nah, age is just a number. It's just a number. Because I'll tell you what, people don't believe me on when I tell them how old I am. Um, well, that's cool, Tracy. I know somebody whose birthday's on September 11th. Okay, so we got that. I'm going to take this designer series paper. I'm going to adhere that to my Peaceful Pine cardstock. I know that my AC unit has been running overtime. I mean, I have the thermostat set at like 72. Um, yeah. I mean, I got this fan on too. I mean, it's that wonderful time of life, where you have your own personal summers. And to be honest with you, I don't like being hot. I hate being hot. That's why I don't like summer. Okay, so I got that on there. And I know a little bit of glue kind of oozed on out, so we're just going to use our little adhesive eraser and remove that. I don't know why they discontinued these, but this actually was I found on Amazon, and actually got a whole bunch of them because at one point, now I want to make sure I got this the right way, because at one point I had when I was going to do monthly classes in the very beginning, I had bought supplies to put like little bags together with kind of like your crafting essentials. And so I had like extra rulers. I had extra scissors and glue dots and dimensionals and glue. And so I just got to the point where, I'm just going to end up using them because I kind of paused on doing classes because really there was in the very beginning, I mean, I did have response. However, as it got closer to it, people had canceled because things were going on. And so yeah, they never really reached out anymore. And so I kind of put a pause to it. But we're coming up to fall, and I did do my newsletter. That did go out. When did that go out? I think I did that on Sunday, went out Sunday evening. And so I got to thinking, we're coming into the burr months, September, October, November, December. So all your fall and winter and Christmas, crafting. I thought, you know what? Maybe I should try that again. One of the things I want to do, I don't have the catalog right here, but on the cover they got that like kind of like those boxes where they kind of made an advent tree. I really want to make that, and I thought that would make a pretty cool class to have at some point, before December. So yeah, if you're local, well, none of you that are normal, that are usually here, are not exactly local to me, other than Yvonne. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna start doing a couple of classes, like into September, October, November, that kind of thing. Cause it's always fun. The more you have gathered together to craft, the more fun it is. So, yeah, I'm gonna try it and see how it goes. Okay, so back to the card. The ribbon that I'm using, this is the cloud cover textured ribbon. This is 5/8 of an inch wide. I wanted to add, bring all these colors in. So for this ribbon, I'm going to try and get this centered, and I'm going to wrap it around. add a piece of tape. Press that all down. I know all the paper that I got, there's no way that I could end up going through all that paper and creating with it. I mean, there's a lot of paper. One of the things, a friend, she's kind of got this ministry where she makes bookmarks, and when she's out and about, you know, she'll give out, you know, what do you call it, the bookmarks, and she would use like designer series paper on them, and then she would print out like a Bible verse on them. And so I have contributed some paper when it was really bad. You remember Celebration, when they used to have like all the paper? Well, I typically only got like, come on, stick, someone's here. It won't come off my finger. Yeah, I know. I hope it's you. But what was I saying? Yeah, I ended up with a whole lot of the paper because I was basically, the consumable items was what I always got extras of. You know, stamp sets, you know, that kind of thing was not something I typically got more of. Not until like near the end of Celebration. Because then I thought, okay, well, that could be opportunities, that could be something that I can give away. I actually still do have some of those stamp sets from past celebrations. Okay, I want to make sure I got it facing in the right direction. So I've taped that on there, put a little glue dot under there just to kind of hold it down. Then I'm going to take my glue, and we're going to attach this to the card base. Okay, make sure we're going the right direction. And we'll center that like so. Now to kind of press that in there, I'm just going to flip this over and rub from the back of it. I know, I wish all of you were closer. I could see how the time, I think we laughed more than anything else. We'd have a good old time. Bloom Impressions. Which one is that one, Froggy? Is that one of our fairly new ones? I can tell you, like I mentioned earlier, when it came to designer series paper, I usually would get like 2 packs of paper. Now, if I really, really, really like it, you know, like fall paper or whatever, I would tend to get like 3 packs of it. You know, again, I got to be using the paper, and yeah. It's just, I hate the fact that, you know, they're doing better now where the paper, sometimes they're carrying it over. So they're doing better, you know, in that aspect. But yeah, it's just everything, you know, your stamp sets, your dies, you know, all of that stuff. There's things that are retiring way too quickly, and that's what kind of stinks about it. But you know, this is why I'm at the point where I'm at right now with having all this stuff, is that there was a reason why I purchased it, right? So there was something about it that I liked, and so yeah. I mean, I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do because, you know, they keep coming out with more stuff. That's why I said I wish they'd start coming out with some ugly stuff. But, yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. All right, so my little stem here, I'm going to put this over to the side like so. Kind of like hold that down. I'll put a block on there for a moment. And then this isn't popped up, so I'm going to glue this down. And that's going to go right here. Just want to kind of hold that down. Celebration, it went on the last chance list after. Oh, is that the one that's got the, it's got that one pattern where it was all these different colors, all these little tiny flowers? Yes, I did get 2 packs of those. Okay, I know what paper you're talking about. Yeah, because it was part of Celebration. Celebration was over, and evidently they had more of it. And then they brought it out where you could purchase it. There were a couple of things, I think, that they made available for purchase. Okay, so now I got that. I'm going to close this up. And I want to get my Wink of Stella. I'm going to add some on my bloom. Now I don't think, oh I did. I'm going to add a little bit on these leaves. Now again, this is going to end up pulling up some of that peaceful pine, so kind of clean that off. All right, then I'm going to bring in some linen thread. Okay, come on. All right, and then I'm going to just do a single-stranded bow. Well, I'm glad that I'm not alone when it comes to hoarding paper. But I do got to get better on using it. Because the one thing that I got to, you know, keep in mind and think about is that at some point in time, and I'm really hoping that after a year and a half, I can, you know, I can move from an apartment to a house, and that I gotta move everything. And I'm, you know, when I moved in here, I had less stuff, and it was a lot, and yeah, so for the most part, that was a lot of boxes. So yeah. And I'll tell you, I just had like, you know, like the shipping boxes from Stampin' Up. I used that, and I had my paper kind of like stored in that. Oh my gosh, just moving boxes of paper and stamps and everything from one room to another. It was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. It's a lot. But I don't got a problem. No, I don't. All right, we got that. The other embellishment that I'm going to also add on to this, these Moody Palette Glossy Dots. So one of the colors in here is Cloud Cover. And so I'm going to add these as well. So I'm going to add one down here, and then a smaller one right up there. And then one more bit of embellishment. So since this one's not getting any of those, was it Dreamy Flowers? I decided to do kind of like a combination. So we got that. And then I'm also going to bring in these 26 to 28 in color butterflies. And I'm going to go with the Peaceful Pine. These are like really pretty. If you've never seen these, they're kind of like a clear like coating, but they look pearlized as well. So it's all of the new in colors. So the Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, Peaceful Pine, Hydrangea Hue, and then there's a white one as well. And they got a larger one and a smaller one in here. So we're going to take a few of our Peaceful Pine butterflies, and we're going to add those right on here. I just really like these colors together. They look just really, really, I like that. I really like that. So there is our first card. Let me just get these put in there, and then I'll bring it up to the camera so you can see it a little bit better. Move those out of the way, move that out of the way, and there we go. There's our first card, now that we're an hour into the live. So let's get to the next one. So let me quickly go and clean my stamp. Okay. Yeah, these, Kim, these are passport holders. In the description, under the list of the Stampin' Up supplies, there's a list of non-Stampin' Up stuff. I got these off of Amazon, so I think it was, well, here in the US, I think I paid about $23 for a package of 100 of these. Now, some of the packaging, is it like, yeah, so like this one, the packaging is wider than this, so I did have to trim it down a little bit, so then that way it'll fit. But what's nice about these being in here is that I have a bin right behind me, and it's just, everything's like the same size, and it just, it protects them too, so I like that. Even the big 13 by 13 Ziploc bag that I basically take all my designer series paper that I get, and I put it in one of those bags because they hold up a lot better, especially when you got your little bits and pieces and your scraps and all that. So yeah, I got those down there too. I got them for like the 6 by 6 paper and the 12 by 12. All right, our next card. This one is really, really pretty. It's kind of got like a simplicity to it, but I really, really like this one. So cloud cover. And then again, this paper does have some of that flocking on it. So a very cute and simple card. So that's going to be our next one. Okay, so there's my pieces. So my card base is cloud cover. It measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white. This measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. The designer series, excuse me, the designer series paper. The way this pattern is, let me show you that one. So this one, okay. So this is what it looks like. So what's nice about this one, this is basically, I think, this piece over here. So if you cut your piece here, and then you can just, you know, you can get like 6 what well, at least like 6 if you do a bigger panel off of this one sheet. So for this, what I did with this one, okay, hold on, everything's falling. So on this one, so this is the back of it. So this piece all together, this measures, what is this? It is, it's altogether it's an 1/8 of an inch smaller than the basic white piece. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 5/8 by 3 and 1, 2, 3 3/8. And then off the top of this, I trimmed this piece. So this is, what is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I trimmed off 5/8 off of the top of this. I didn't want to cut any of my flowers, so this is just trimmed, and this is what we're going to flip over, and we're going to put right underneath that. And then ahead of time on a piece of cloud cover, I heat embossed with the white embossing powder. So many reasons to celebrate. So this is one of the greetings that is in the stamp set. Okay, so let's fold and burnish this. Okay, I'll set that aside. And then I'm going to take, now there's 2 ways you can do this. One of the ways I have done stuff so that way I can put it down in one piece. So you can do it either way. You can glue this top panel on here, and just being mindful about how much space you got there, and then you can glue this piece right underneath it. Or what I like to do is take my pieces, kind of butt it up together, bring in some tape, and so this way when I put it down, I'm putting it down is one piece. Hello, Kimberly. How's the weather up there in Indiana? You guys up there been getting some severe weather. Usually we see that weather down here, but up there up north, you guys have been getting some really intense storms. Okay, so now I'm going to get my glue. And now I got one whole piece. I can lay this down instead of doing 2 separate. And I'm going to put it on here so I can see that basic white a little bit better. And I'm just going to center that like so. Now again, because this has the flocking on it, I'm going to turn it over and press it down. All right, so there we go. We got that panel. Then I'm going to take my linen thread. Let's get that tape again. And I'm going to wrap this around twice, right where these 2 pieces of Designer Series paper meet. Make a piece. Now, I could do this and then tie a bow, but you don't want to see me struggle. Not on the live. I mean, I can do it, but because I'm filming. You know what happens when you film when the camera's rolling. You forget words, you forget what you're doing, and things just don't want to cooperate and work. So we're not going to do that. So I'm going to tape that down. I'm going to take this, I'm going to wrap it around twice, like so. And then we're going to add some more tape to hold it down. Okay, just kind of like burnish that a little bit so it stays. And then let's trim it. Okay, and then let's flip this on over. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to pop this up first. So dimensionals. And actually what I'm going to do, I have some sheets here of the edge pieces. So we're going to use these because I got quite a few of these laying around. And so we're going to use them up. So this is what they're perfect for. So when you need them for your panels, like fuzzy or something on there. Okay. I'll put these in the middle. Oh my gosh, you know what? when they say that when you record, you know, when you do videos or you go live and all that, that you like lose brain cells or something, you know, or you forget how to speak. It's a real thing because, you know, here was my thought in when I first was looking to do videos. Now, when I've been a demonstrator since October of 2013, and I had talked about doing videos for the longest amount of time, but the thing is that, you know, I'm kind of like this perfectionist that I would want my videos to be perfect, you know, that of course, you know, I would be prepared for the most part. Pretty much everything that I need is right here. I have watched videos that people have done, and now this isn't, I'm not calling any Stampin' Up! Demonstrators out. It's just in general, you know, anybody who has done a video where they'll go to film and then it's like every single thing that they need, like say scissors. Oh, let me go get my scissors. Then they walk away. And then it's like, oh, I need this. Let me go get it. And now, then it's like I get this understanding as to why your video is so long, because you're not prepared. So I figured, okay, I've learned and I know how I want to do it. But you know what? It's like you flub on words, you forget the name of things, and get tongue twisted. You do things like, you know, do a panel like this and you go to put it on your card and then you put it on upside down. I've done that before. But you know, I've come to the realization my videos will never be perfect. Nope. And when I do crazy little things like forget words or put something on upside down or whatever, I just look at it this way. It's become a blooper video then, right? And yeah, I just came to the realization, you know, technology too is going to give you a hard time. Like I literally pre-recorded, so in the very beginning when I was doing pre-recorded videos, if you go back and you watch them, I actually did like little snips that I put together. I actually had like music, some really cool music, you know, for my opening, and then like things like coloring or die cutting or something. I would speed it up and have some cool music, and then I would watch that and I think, man, I wish I could really color that fast. Or, you know, die cut and emboss and all that. Um, but the problem that I was having is that when I tried to take all those little video clips, I used Canva, and when I would try to upload it to Canva, I don't know what was going on. There was a lot of times that it kept bombing out on uploading the thing, and I was spending more time trying to do that, and that's why I kind of stopped. So, but it was cool with the music. I got to learn how to be able to, you know, go back and add that stuff, you know, one of these days. And, but yeah, a lot of the pre-recorded stuff that I was doing lately would actually be an unlisted live. And yeah, there's been, what was it? There were two videos that I ended up recording, and I scheduled it, and they post, and it was one of those Saturday mornings, you know, Yvonne was laying in bed, she was watching them, and she said to me, she goes, I don't know if it's my phone, maybe it's my phone, but I can't hear you. And I literally went back to the video to go and watch it, and I was like, oh my gosh. Two videos that I recorded had no sound to it. So I'm like, I can't have them out there like that. So I literally redid them. I had to recut everything. And yeah, I wasn't happy about that. So things do happen, you know. So, all right. So if you noticed, I took another piece of linen thread and I just tied my bow on there. So what's nice about this, I can actually slide this over if I want it after I put my greeting piece down. So this is the Banners Pick a Punch. I don't think this is available now. I think this has now since retired. What I want to do is I want to flag the ends. Now you can flag the ends basically with your scissors, cut up the middle a little bit, and then flag from corner to the center there. But I'm going to use my punch. Again, this is stuff I know it's retired for the most part. I like to try and use things that are still available. But, you know, realistically, you know, I have this stuff. I should be using it. Even though it's retired, I still have it. And most likely a lot of you may even have this punch. This is definitely one of those punches that I feel would be like a staple, you know, for doing your, oops, your little tails or your flagged ends. So there we go. Again, ahead of time, I used the Versamark and I heat embossed it with the white embossing powder on that. Now to put this down, if I go to put dimensionals like across the middle and on top of this linen thread, what's going to happen? What was that beeping?
It was the light I turned on.
The, what was it?
The light. I don't know. I turned the light on and it beeped. So
Which light?
the living room lamp.
Oh, that's because the oil diffuser.
Oh.
That's why. It's plugged in, so it's going to beep. I was thinking, what's beeping? What strange thing is beeping? All right, so I'm going to use the edging pieces of my dimensionals here. And I'm going to run one piece on this one long edge and another piece right here. So this way my linen thread is going to run right in the middle of it, and it's not going to be, you know, out of sorts and all like wonky. So we're going to take this and I'm going to place this right here. Stick that down like so. Now what I can do is I can take my bow here and I can slide this a little bit closer, like so. Okay, and then we'll trim our ends. Okay, then I'm going to take my Winkostella, and so these white flowers right here, now the little ones, these little tiny ones are the ones that have the flocking on it. These white flowers here don't have any. Now, I mean, you can end up adding this, you know, on, and I'm shaking the camera, I apologize. I gotta figure out a way to set this up. It'd be nice to actually, you know, sit down while I'm doing these lives, but I just need to figure out how I would set everything up, because I have a desk over there, but to clip on the thing for the phone and all that, I'd have to figure out. Now you can use this and add it to the flocking as well. It's not going to hurt it. We can add some of it on there too. All right, let me close this up. So for this one, for the embellishments, excuse me, we're going to kind of keep it simple as well. So these are the 25 to 27 in color flat pearls, and we're going to bring in the cloud cover ones. So again, there's a large, medium, and small in these. And I'm going to add one there, down in this corner, and one right there. Okay. There is our second card. Isn't that pretty? I love cloud cover. And then even like the peaceful pine in here where they softened it up where it's a little bit lighter. The colors just go so well. I wouldn't think of throwing Berry Burst and, you know, Daffodil Delight in there, but it's really cool. I like it. All right, so we're on to our final card now. So that's closed up. All right, so let me bring in the pieces for that. So, pinned up at the top of the chat box, there is a link to a Google spreadsheet. What I do, I do a card drawing at the very end, so you can win one of the cards that I have made tonight. You do have to be present to win. To participate in it, again, if you click on the link, it's going to take you to a Google spreadsheet. Add your name there. If you're having any issues, any problems at all, just say something in the chat and somebody will be more than happy to add your name. At the end, I will take those list of names, I'll put it in a wheel of names, and I will spin. And of course, if I choose your name, you get to choose one of the 3 cards, and then we kind of do that until, you know, all the cards have been given away. It does not matter where you live. If you're in another country, I can mail cards anywhere. Just need, like, evidently, you know, international postage. But last week when I went to the post office and I asked them if they had any international stamps, they didn't. But they told me I can put 3 stamps on there. I'm thinking, is 3 stamps like more than what one international stamp is? Because right now our stamps, our forever stamps, are 82 cents a piece. So that's, I think that's more than an international stamp. So Yeah, I did order some more. I just have to pick them up from the post office. They were delivered yesterday, I think. So this is going to be our third card. So you can see I literally covered the entire card front with that designer series paper. So this one has more of all the prints on it, and you see a little bit of that cloud cover background. And so yeah, this is the one we're going to make. This is a case off of one of the cards that is actually in the catalog. I did change it up a little bit. Instead of adding those little die cut detailed flowers from the set of dies, I just added these, and I just kind of kept it a little bit simple. But that's going to be our third card. So let me bring in my pieces. Okay, card base is basic white thick, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. A piece of the Velvet Designer Series paper, that's the same size as the card front, 5.5 by 4.25. I have a scrap strip of basic white, so this is a 1/2 inch, and again I got it a lot longer than what I needed to, but this is like at 5.25. We're going to stamp our greeting in the middle of this using our Berry Burst ink, and then once I stamp in, we're going to be using that punch again to flag the end, so it's going to be a little bit shorter. Then out of that velvet paper, this is the bubble bath color. I had used one of the somewhat smaller banner dies. These things are like, wow. I don't know if I think I showed a picture of it from when my granddaughter, when she graduated high school, I made a whole like graduation banner in her school colors, and I use these. These things are really, really cool. So I use one of these like smaller ones. So that way what they used, I think, in the sample, the banner was bigger than this, but it covered up most of the print of the designer series paper, and I wanted to be able to see a little bit more of it, so I opted for a smaller banner. Then I mentioned that there was the one die that you can actually die cut these flowers out of the designer series paper. So that is what I did with this one, and there is a little bit of flocking on it right here in the center of the flower. So easy peasy. You can stamp this or you can just cut it out of the paper. And then ahead of time from the stamps, I stamped that stem, and then this leaf sprig here, basic white cardstock using the Peaceful Pine ink, and then I die cut it ahead of time. All right, so I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to stamp this first. And this is a greeting that's out of the Flowering Meadow stamp set. We're going to go with You Always Make Me Smile. Where is it? I am missing everybody's comments. Let me see. Sherry, you saying that you want your name added to the spreadsheet? Whoops. Whoa, we don't want that to be bold. No. Okay. So right now we got Kim, Tracy, Froggy, Terry, Carol, Sharon, and Sherry. So yeah, so if you have any issues trying to add your name, just say something. someone would be more than happy to add you. Yeah, sure. I added you. You're on there now. Okay. Berry Burst. And let's ink this up. And again, we're going to stamp it right in the middle. And then I'm going to close this up because this is one of those colors. It's like red. It'll get everywhere. And I'll clean this really quick. If you're kind of quick on cleaning, like, you know, your reds and your pinks and all that on your photopolymer stamps, if you're pretty quick to clean it, the staining's not too bad. All right. So what I want to do with this is instead of like constantly trying to punch it and trim it down, I'm going to just trim it a little bit. This was one of those celebration offerings a few years ago. I think they had a variety of 6x6 size of designer series paper, and that little mini trimmer as one of the offerings, I think, when you had joined. Okay, so here is my punch again, and this is going to fit perfectly in here, and I think I got the wrong one. You want this one. So I'm going to just take a little bit off, and we'll put that. I'm missing the garbage can. Okay, and then I'll flip it over. You could do it that way and it doesn't fly all over the place. Okay, that'll work. We just want it a little bit longer than our banner. All right. So we got that. Let's fold and burnish our card base. I think I need to clean this. I did a lot of spritzing with my markers and my Wink Estella, and it just looks like a hot mess. Okay, card base, designer series paper. Okay. Alright, so we're going to line this up. Again, because of the flocking, I don't want to rub my hand over that, so I'm going to just press it down. And there we go. See, that's pretty all by itself. And I got it the right way. It's a good thing I yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that, but I'm glad that I got it the right way. All right, so now I'm going to take my banner piece here, and we are going to add some more dimensionals to this. So let's snip and snip. And we're going to add this to this side. I still got my blinds and my curtain open, this window off to my right? But I'm like at the back of the property where this window faces, so all I'm seeing is all the brush and everything that's between this apartment complex and the one next door. So really nobody comes back here. Otherwise, that thing would be closed, because nobody needs to see me when I'm doing my live. That feeling where you look up and then somebody's watching you. That would be a little creepy. Okay, so we're going to add that, and then all these little bitty pieces. We don't want it all saggy, so there we go. All right. All right, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to center it about right here. So press that down. Then, let's see. Hold on. There's some missing. Did I not die cut enough? I got one. There should be 3. I think I'm gonna have to stamp and die cut, because I'm not seeing them. Hold on one second. And here I did this early, got everything done. Okay, so I'm gonna need, I want a total of 3 of those. So let me get that. Stamp that 2 more times. Clean that really quick. And then let's pull out the die. The packaging now is very deceiving. Look how small that is. I was like, oh wow, those are tiny. Okay, I want this one. So I have over here. Now I do have a stamp and cut and emboss machine, but I also have an electronic die cutter as well. So we're going to use that because I don't have to shake my whole table and I don't have to crank it. So I have one of those was it Anna Griffin? Yeah, Anna Griffin Empress. If this thing ever dies on me, I'm gonna have to get another one because I've been loving on using this one. Okay. There's one. See, this is where I'd be inserting music and speeding this sucker up, and it'd be done in no time. It's funny to go back. It was funny going back and watching it. Even like fussy cutting, that is not something I like doing. And of course, I don't like all the really jaggedy edges of fussy cutting. And so I don't tend to go very fast. But man, between that and, you know, running stuff through a die cutter and, you know, coloring and all that, watching that all sped up is pretty cool. I wish I could go that fast. I'd be done like in no time. All right, so let me put my die back and we'll set that aside. All right, now we are going to figure out where we want to place this. So this is going to kind of be in the middle here. I'm going to take a dimensional, and I also want one of these. So I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm going to stick that right on the back of that. And I'm going to grab another one, put that on this one. Hopefully I'm not too far down. And this is going to sit right on top of them. All right, so I'm going to take, what do I want? A little, let's get a little dimensional. And I'm going to place that right there. All right, and then I'm going to place this kind of like about here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in these flowers and let's see, we'll put that on there. Hopefully that's not going to hinder when I go to put that down. No. Let's see, do I need to add another one? All right. All right, so we got that stuck down. Now we're going to kind of fill in with these pieces. Now I may have to trim. Well, nope, I think I'm good. Or I can just trim a little bit. Just trim a little bit, and the thing went flying. Not in the garbage can, but somewhere on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to tuck that in like so. There's Deborah. Oh, I know, it's kind of sad, Deborah. I'm sorry. I know you guys were working so hard with doing the estate sale and all that. You know, I was on top chat. I want to be on live chat because I'm probably missing half of everybody's comments. Terry, I'm a whole knot of crazy? You mean you're a whole lot of crazy. It's a good crazy. All right. So we're going to kind of tuck these in as well. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of other demonstrators that I follow, like Dina and Kelly and Barb and Ange and Angie Judah, and there's a bunch of and Erica. There's a bunch of them. So yeah, like some of your names are familiar to me as well. I've seen a lot of times I'm not able to catch a live, but when I watch the replay, I don't understand how there are times where the chat will show, but then there's times that the chat doesn't show, and I don't know how. Sometimes like how you bring it up. Then I'm going to take, so this from way back when, Whisper White Solid Baker's Twine. When this stuff retired, oh my gosh, I had bought like a whole bunch because I mean, white baker's twine is like a staple. And so here I bought like a whole bunch of it, so I got a whole slew. Now I do have, you know, the essential baker's twine, but yeah, I'm kind of low on the white. And here's my thing. Like I had mentioned before, it's like the whole idea, you know, when you do these lives, you know, you're using current stuff, you know, that way if someone likes it, you know, they want to, oh, I want to make that, and they want to, you know, purchase it. It's like to say that, oh, you can't get it anymore, you know. But here's my thing that I've gotten to this point or this stage is that, and this has been like I took a break. What was it? The month of June? Was it June that I took a break? Yeah, I think it was June I took a break. Um, okay, I'm just trying to figure out how I want to lay that. So I'm going to get my seal. And I'm going to add a little bit right here just to kind of like hold this down. And so when I came back, you know, I decided to take a little break for doing like Throwback Thursdays, which was basically, you know, oh, this isn't going to stick very well now, is it? That ain't going to stick down. That's just a little tiny piece. But I had decided that, you know, I'm going to kind of, if it's something that's retired, like my, you know, like my punch, you know, I'm going to use it. You know, I also, you know, I think when I first came back, I did that sweet, was it match day, the one that was the soccer, and I have, you know, I'm starting to get to collect, I guess you can say, the Copic markers, and so I decided that I wanted to actually go and use some of those, so I colored with those. So I'm to the point where, I mean, I got all this stuff. I want to use, I should use it. So, yeah, so that's what I'm probably going to do. I'll incorporate some things that may not be Stampin' Up or may be retired. Now, the thing is that when it comes to other products, um, you know, even as a demonstrator, there's nothing wrong with using, you know, a competitor's product. Certain things like, you know, stamps or whatever, you know, when you're a demonstrator, it would seem a little confusing, you know, if someone watches you and it's like, okay, well, you're a demonstrator. Why are you not using something that's, you know, Stampin' Up? But, you know, other things, you know, like even Copics or whatever. The thing is that what you can't do, you can't have an affiliate link. So like, for example, if I use Copic markers, I can't be putting setting up links, you know, in my video, or if I had a blog to where you can click on it, you can purchase it from whoever, and then I get a little bit of a kickback from it. No, that'll never happen. I can tell you, I think you need to have at least 1,000 subscribers before you would even be considered to be an affiliate. But yeah, I'm not even close to that. So yeah, I would never, you know, add links to things like that. Now, when I did use them, all I did was under in my description where I got all the dimensions of the cardstock and the paper pieces for each of the cards. What I did include was what the color numbers of the markers that I used. So if you like the color or whatever and you want to know what color I used, I listed it there, but yeah, there was definitely no links to it. So yeah, it's when you do the affiliate links that, you know, that, yeah, Stampin' Up doesn't, that's one of the things you can't do. But again, like I said, I'm not too concerned or worried about that because I am not affiliated with anything, not even with Amazon. So, but there we go. We got that. So now we got one more thing to add. And this time we're going to actually use the Dreamy flowers. If I can figure out where the Dreamy flowers went to. Dreamy flowers. Very wet. They are right. Not right where they need to be. There they are. They were hiding in the back. All right. Again, these things do have some bulk to them. So this thing's already popped up. So you want to be mindful how many of these things that you do use on a card, because you may have to put more postage on it, or you may have to put it like in like either an acetate card box or a bubble envelope, you know, so it doesn't get damaged. So either way, you know, the cost of postage, it's gone up, and I hate saying it, but every time the post office goes up on their rates on things, the service just gets worse. That's what I've noticed over the years. And so yeah, so there we go. There's our third card. And we're almost to the 2-hour mark. Tried to do less, but there's our third card. So this is kind of like a case off of the one that's in the catalog. All right, so let me bring in the other two cards that we did. So we did this kind of clean and simple one using a lot of that cloud cover as my predominant color in this one. And then the first one that we did, I really love the color combination of the Peaceful Pine, the cloud cover, and the white. So we kind of threw in those scalloped circles into this one and our little butterflies. So again, if you had just popped in here, what I do at the end of my lives, I do a card giveaway of the projects that I had made. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter if you're outside of the U.S. If you would like to be part of it, of course, you have to be present when I go to do the drawing at the end. I have linked up at the top of the chat box. I got it pinned up there. There's a link to a Google spreadsheet. If you click on that, it's going to take you to the spreadsheet. Just add your name to it. If you're having any issues at all trying to access it, just say something in the chat box, and then somebody be more than happy to add your name. And then I'll take those names, I'll put it in a wheel of names, and I'll bring my laptop in so you can see the screen. And then we do the drawing. And if I choose your name, you just tell me which card you want. And then now if I had never sent you a card, if I choose you and I've never sent you a card in the past, there's a gnatty bug flying around. My email address is pinned in that comment. Just send me an email with if your last name isn't in your screen name, have your full name and I can't even speak, your mailing address. And then my plan is that either tomorrow or on Sunday, I want to get these out in the mail. So then that way your card is out and hopefully you get it before I do my next live. Okay, so I got things kind of tidied up here and out of the way. Everything piles up very quickly and very easily. I have my pen. And I got my little post-it notes with names on it. And the order we did it, card 1, card 2, and card 3. And let's see. Let's see who we have. So right now we have Kim, Tracy, Froggy, Terry, Carol, Sharon, and Sherry. Is there anybody else who would like to be added? Thank you so much, Kimberly. Yeah, if you like the projects, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you're new, again, there's a lot of videos out there. I think there's like this will be like 380, I think. And yeah, there's some retired stuff. And also one of the things that I recently took a pause on doing, what I do on Fridays when I do on my lives, I was doing PDFs, and it would have the link back to the video. It would have all the dimensions and if like what color inks I use for stamping and stuff like that. There's over 100 of them that I have saved out on my Google spreadsheet. If you look in the description, there's a little like paragraph right above the list of supplies. If you click on that, you're going to see all of them. I mean, like I said, there's over 100 of them out there. And what's cool about it, there is a little link that has the date that's going to take you right back to the video if you want to kind of craft along. So, yeah, so those are out there. And the only reason why I took a break on them was because between doing like at least 2 videos a week and then working a full-time job and then trying to get the PDF done, I wasn't able to really, Deborah, okay, I got it. I wasn't really able to get everything done in time. So I kind of took a break because, work's been a little crazy and, I just kind of felt a little burned out. That's why I ended up taking and Kimberly. Okay. We got 2 Kims. Okay. Yeah, Froggy. I think, yeah, you're on there. Yep, Froggy's there. Let's see. Oh, Deborah, your name's on there. Too late. too late. It can't be deleted. It's there. Um, okay, so right now we have Kim, Tracy, Froggy, Terry, Carol, Sharon, Sherry, Debbie, and Kimberly. We got everybody? I would ask Yvonne, but she'd be like, nah, I'll sit this one out. She figures that, you know, she's here, she can see him in person, and a lot of times if she really, really likes it, she knows that she can end up putting one together. Yep, see, you can make your own. Okay, so I think we got everybody then. So let me take all these names. We'll copy it and we'll paste it into our wheel. Our wheel's getting a little bit like more names on it. This is the same, if you follow Angie Judah, this is the same, it's an kind of like an app, that's an online app, Wheel of Names. And so hers has a lot of names on it. Mine, well, mine's neat. You can see more of the purples and the blues on it. Okay, so let me move my lights out of the way because we don't want this to glare on the screen. But until I can figure out a way how I can, like how she can do it where she can flip from one, you know, one screen to another, I think what she uses is that, what is it called? I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Switcher Studio, I think. The only problem with that is that it's not for Androids, it's for like iPhones. So it wouldn't work, but there's a lot of technology stuff that I would love to, you know, like to incorporate and, you know, step it up a little bit, but it's just a matter of finding time. She just doesn't want airmail, that's right. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and let's go ahead and spin this again. If your name comes up, just basically choose card 1, 2, or 3. We're doing it like they're numbered in the order that I had done them. Okay, so let's go ahead and spin it. And of course, I got the sound off on this. Usually you would hear the little clicking and then the cheering and all that when it stopped on it. Now, see, Deborah? See, Deborah? Which card would you like, Deborah? Kim, did you get your card yet from last week? I will tell you that when I was going through my stamps, I didn't have like any of the current international stamps. So I ended up using one that I think was probably from back in what, 2019 or something. Number 1, okay. I'll stick that on the back. All right. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, it was pretty old. Oops, wrong thing. That's not what I want. I want this. Okay, let's spin it again. Kimberly. Okay, so Kimberly, yeah, I'll need you to send me an email. Your last name's there, so that's good. And yeah, just email me with your mailing address. So then that way I can get this out. My plan, like I said, it all depends. So my Stampin' Up order is on its way, and they're saying it's going to be on Monday. But I had signed up for the My Choice. So at one point I couldn't really have stuff delivered here, so I actually have it. Number two, I was having it actually go to the UPS store, and then I would just pick it up from there. So it's gonna route that way. And so usually when it switches to ground, it comes a little bit faster. So I'm kind of hoping that it's gonna show up tomorrow, because it actually has some pre-order stuff from the holiday. Well, it's not the holiday mini anymore. From the catalog that's going to go live on September 1st. So kind of hoping and that it's going to show up. Tracy. So yeah, if it shows up tomorrow, then okay, I'll put this stuff out in the mail tomorrow. If it doesn't, then it'll go out on Sunday. It's supposed to be really hot here tomorrow too. And if we don't have to go out anywhere, I think that's like the best bet. Okay, so there we go. All right, now let me move this out of the way. Let me go and move this, and we'll kind of wrap things up. So again, thank you so much everybody for joining me tonight. And again, if you like the projects, please give the video a thumbs up. It really helps. Not only growing the channel, it also, helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business as well. I also had recently did my monthly newsletter, so it has the listing of the videos that I'm doing on my Fridays. There's like any information and stuff that Stampin' Up! Has come out with. Like, so for example, they came out with 2 new kits. Oh my gosh, one of the kits is, what is it called? A witchy whimsy hat. So it's like a home decor piece. So that is something that I did order. So there's that. And then there's also these cards that are not so much cards, but you remember a few months ago, Stampin' Up! Came out with the kit. There was the set of the clipboards, and then there were the panels that you can just clip on there as a decorative piece. Well, there's another kit that has like different cards that has like these die cut flowers that you can put together. So another thing that can go to the clipboard. So yeah, I include that stuff, anything that's new, what Stampin' Up! Is doing or whatever. What I'm doing here in the studio for a while now, I have just kind of like had some little picture and a little like something like maybe a Bible verse or something. But now that we're getting closer to now the Burr months, September, October, November, and December, I'm looking to see about putting together some in-person classes. So like one of the Saturdays a month, pick a product and all that and create with it. And one of the things that I definitely want to do as one of my classes is create that advent tree with the advent boxes that you see on the cover of the new catalog. And speaking of the catalog, if you are not already a demonstrator or working with another demonstrator, you're here in the US. If you would like a paper copy of the catalogs, I do have a few here. Just send me an email, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to mail one out to you. And again, that new catalog goes out on the 1st. It starts on the 1st of September. And then there's a few items that are online exclusives that are going to start on the 1st. And there's also some new stuff that's for the hot foil system that's going to also start on the 1st of September as well. So with that, again, thank you so much, everybody, wherever you may be. If you're dealing with all those wildfires, please be safe. Those of you up north, I know lately you've been getting all the severe weather, so please be safe. Send some of that rain down here if you could, because we just got hot temperatures and we got no rain. So But yeah, everybody stay safe. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and a wonderful weekend. Hope you get lots of crafting in. And I will see you next Friday right here at 6 p.m. Central. Until then, everyone have a blessed one. Bye bye.